Right now on Denver 7 News at 6 a.m.
I don't want to learn to live with this drug killing kids.
Colorado lawmakers come to a compromise overnight to fight the fentanyl crisis.
I'm Denver 7's Jessica Crawford. The bill to increase penalties for fentanyl possession passes late in the night, the agreement that lawmakers were able to come to.
Plus, building new developments with wildfires in mind.
One of the things that was true in the Marshall Fire was that many cases we had things like combustible fencing working like a fuse, burning back to the house.
The new rules Boulder County is considering today.
And in a chariot fit for a king, or at least an MVP. The Nuggets traveled thousands of miles to surprise Nikola Jokic with his award. Oh, how about that entrance and a great reception in Serbia for Nikola Jokic.
His teammates flew out for his coach. Yeah, all that. That's amazing.
So deserving of the MVP award. Good Thursday morning to you. I'm Brian Sanders.
And I'm Nicole Brady. It won't be quite as hot today as it was yesterday. Fire danger still high today, but starting out pretty nice out there, Lisa.
I don't know who looked more uncomfortable, the horse or Nikola. Yeah, I don't know. We've got temperatures that are going to be, you're right, quite a bit cooler. Cold front racing through the state as we speak. Near 50 here as your kids are heading off to school, though. It's extremely mild outside. We'll be under a mostly sunny sky. The winds are going to pick back up. Mild conditions, though, low 70s. So we're right back down to near normal after hitting a record-tying high of 90 yesterday. Low to mid 40s here in town. You're going to find more 40s and 50s, though, up and down the Front Range. And here's a look at your highs this afternoon. Evergreen 62, Denver 10 degrees warmer. Parker, Aurora, Castle Rock, all right around 70 degrees, 40s and 50s in the mountains. Now, it is a lot cooler than yesterday, but we're still looking at high fire danger. This is a fire weather warning in effect until 9 o'clock tonight. The winds are going to pick back up, and it's obviously just been way too dry out there. We'll take a closer look at those wind speeds and when they pick up here on our Super 7 Day coming up.
And we do have a couple of issues here for us this morning, including a crash up on Highway 36. It's on the westbound side right here at Wadsworth. There's also a ramp restriction with part of a crash here on that ramp coming off of Highway 36 to go to Wadsworth. Take a look from the camera up there, and you can see that we have this left lane. They're going to call it the center lane, but it's actually the left lane because there's only two free lanes and then the express lane. That is blocked. You see how one car is sideways, so just one lane getting here. You can actually use the express lane to get around it too, but it looks like nobody wants to do that right now. The delays are minimal at this point. We did have a crash also coming in here around I-70 and I-25. I haven't seen it yet. Might be on that southbound to westbound transition or somewhere in the transition. And the crash we had on eastbound I-70 over by 225 is all cleared and move out of the way. We do have delays inside in the airport. I'll have details on that for you coming up in just a minute.
Well, Colorado lawmakers wrapped up the legislative session overnight with just 24 minutes to spare.
Yeah, they had the midnight deadline, and after a marathon of a day, several last-minute bills were passed, including one of the most controversial ones of the session, the fentanyl bill, which increases penalties for possession of the synthetic opioid responsible for more than 800 Colorado deaths last year.
Denver 7's Jessica Crawford is live at the state capitol. There was a major last-minute change to the measure, Jessica.
That's right. So when should possession of fentanyl be considered a felony? When should it be considered something less? That is something that lawmakers had to compromise on overnight. All the earlier stuff is still in the bill. Harsher punishments for dealers and more money for drug treatment and testing. When the Senate passed its version last Friday, it included an amendment that reduced the threshold for felony possession charges from 4 grams to 1 gram. That's still enough of the drug to kill 500 people. The deal reached on a conference committee late last night is that if a defendant can convince a jury that they did not know that the drugs contain fentanyl, the felony charge could be dropped to a misdemeanor. Critics argue that that opens a window for all cases to be considered misdemeanors going forward.
It's either I want to get this drug off my streets, or the others say, well, we want to just learn to live with it. I don't want to learn to live with this drug killing kids. I don't want parents to have to worry about whether or not their kid's going to come home from a Saturday night party.
What we're saying is that if you do come in contact with that fentanyl unknowingly, that you're not a felon. And that's so very important. We heard story after story after story of people who died from accidental or unknowing fentanyl poisonings. They should not be wrapped up in this.
Representative Mike Lynch, one of the sponsors of the original bill, asked for his name to be taken off of it because he thinks that the final version of it doesn't go far enough, saying in part, law enforcement has been clear on their position and adamantly opposed anything less than a felony charge for any amount of fentanyl possession. They've told us what they need in order to take decisive action and save lives across our state. Governor Polis issuing a statement overnight calling the compromise bold legislation, saying it goes a long way towards saving lives. We're going to hear more from him live today at 9:30 on Denver 7. Live from the Capitol, I'm Jessica Crawford, Denver 7.
All right, thank you, Jessica. You can find a complete list of all the bills that passed the legislative session. We highlight some of the other important last-minute approved bills in about 20 minutes, but if you want to look now, it's on thedenverchannel.com.
Well, our fire danger remains high today, and the cause of a small fire near Evergreen Parkway and Highway 40 is still under investigation. Fortunately, crews were able to contain it to just a quarter acre. But we know it doesn't take much for small fires like that to rapidly spread due to our high winds. We saw it with the devastating Marshall Fire, and Boulder County is now looking at ways to prevent another tragedy like it. Denver 7's Veronica Acosta joins us live this morning with new rules Boulder County is considering to building materials.
So rules currently in place for the foothills portion of the county, they would actually be extended countywide. So here's what those changes would look like. We're talking about ember-resistant construction materials on the actual roof, attic venting, non-combustible gutters and downspouts, changing to decking and fencing materials. Now, despite the importance of these changes, officials say they are watching one thing, and that is the price on all this stuff.
Many of these materials are very comparable in terms of their cost to other traditional building materials. So we were really very, very aware that that many of these folks who are rebuilding are experiencing financial hardships. Many of these folks are underinsured, and we wanted to make sure that we weren't putting any obstacles, financial or otherwise, in their way.
And those changes, they'll be presented to Boulder County commissioners during a meeting later this morning. That's happening at 11:30. If they are approved, they're likely to go in place sometime around June 6th. We're in Boulder County this morning. I'm Veronica Acosta, Denver 7.
Yeah, we are still very early in the rebuilding process. Thank you, Veronica. Since the fire, the Community Foundation of Boulder County has received donations from more than 77,000 people wanting to help the Marshall Fire victims. We asked, an official said $5.5 million have already been given out to families whose homes were damaged or destroyed by the fire. $1.5 million in financial assistance for workers who lost wages or equipment. Other money has gone to mental health services, people with wind damage, and to help with underinsurance.
Where do you feel like we are in the recovery phase?
It's still very early days. I mean, traditionally, recovery is a multi-year process. We're still removing debris in our community, anticipate that that will still take months to remove debris from the majority of the lots that were burned. And folks are still working with their insurance companies to settle and to make really difficult decisions.
It's been an emotional time with debris removal. She went on to tell me that anyone impacted by the Marshall Fire can also get 10 sessions with a qualified mental health therapist for free. And if you're looking for assistance, boco.org/Marshall Fire has a long list of resources.
Tonight, we'll learn who the Broncos are playing and when. The team's regular season schedule will be announced at 6 p.m. And after that, Broncos single game tickets will go up for grabs. Inventory, though, will be extremely low. The Broncos have sold out 393 consecutive regular season games, and the wait list for season tickets is now over 90,000.
Wow.
From the Broncos to the Nuggets, it is now official. We kind of told you earlier this week, but it was official yesterday. Nikola Jokic is league MVP for the second year in a row.
And a big celebration for him back in his home country of Serbia. The Joker doing a harness racing workout there, which is why he was on the chariot with his helmet on. But he pulled back up to the barn. His Nuggets coach, Michael Malone, team president of basketball operations, Tim Connolly, and president Josh Kroenke, all there waiting for him, along with his wife, his daughter, other family members, while a Serbian band played.
It's a really emotional moment for me, of course. I think nobody ever came here. So I think it's actually amazing. Tim was here and everybody. So I think it's once in a lifetime. Now I don't think about it, but probably when I'm old, fat, and grumpy, hopefully I'm gonna remember and I'm gonna tell my kids that back in the days I was really good playing basketball.
Yeah, really good is just an understatement. He's always been very humble about his playing ability, but he does it all. The 27-year-old averages a career high 27 points, 14 rebounds per game this season. He was the first player in league history with 2,000 points, 1,000 rebounds, and 500 assists in a single season, and I believe only the 13th player in the league, Lisa, to win this award in back-to-back seasons.
Yeah, congratulations. Yeah, really good. You're right, an understatement. Now at 6:10, we're looking at 40s and 50s early this morning. It's pretty calm out there right now. Unfortunately, fire danger is going to remain high, even though it's cooler today. Coming up, I'm going to show you the wind speeds later this afternoon. You can see they'll start to pick up here by midday. Details on the high fire danger and how long it's going to last here as we head into the weekend coming up.
We still have some big delays over at the airport, inside the airport, with security wait times at 25 to 30 minutes. This was taken early this morning with the pictures of the line going all the way back to the baggage area here this morning. So it's going to be a long wait, unfortunately, once you get inside the airport. We're not even at Memorial Day yet, and you see the drive tour from the airport looks fine, as does E470. But getting inside the airport, have extra time if you're heading out there this morning.
To see. Thank you, Jason. Well, rising food prices, and the president thinks farmers can help fight inflation. The changes he announced to ramp up production.
Plus, the high-tech glasses that will eliminate the need to learn another language. And
really, it was the kids that kind of started the program themselves.
Meaningful mentors. I'll introduce you to the group of local students that are breaking barriers between groups in school.